Hello and welcome to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. My name is Peter Apple. I'm your host, and I got two MLB best bets for you. I have a prize picks entry, and then in the back half of this stream, we're going to welcome on all of our amazing MLB cappers. We have tons of picks today, but also I'm on a new software, right? Streamlabs, get out. StreamYard, welcome to the show. So if audio is ever messed up or anything is happening, it's our first day with new software. Please feel free in the chat to let us know how the audio sounds, everything like that. But this is a new show because we're done with Streamlabs, but I'm here to deliver some winners. And of course, all game picks are on BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Wager $10 on any MLB money line, and then you'll get $100 in bonus bets. It's an absolute no-brainer to use the king of sportsbooks. And if you're ever curious, like you come in late to the stream, maybe you come in early, then you got to bounce. All plays will be tracked on the Pickett Sports app. Remember to download Pickett and use code Peter when you sync your sports book. There will be like a $3 to $100 raffle. It's kind of cool. Some people in my DMs have been like, yo, I won $80. I won $75. Normally, I'm saying you're going to win $3, but it's a free app. You sync your sports book. And then, of course, you can follow all of our plays. They're always tracked for full transparency purposes. And the reason they're tracked on the Pickett Sports app is this is a competition, right? At the end of the year, we are going to track everybody's units, right? You can see them tracked right now. Tomas just took the lead on me with that 3-unit bomb from the Guardians. But if I win at the end of the season, anyone who's subscribed to our Twitch channel will be entered to win World Series tickets. If I finish second like I am right now, you will get a $500 cash prize. So greatly appreciate if you want to sub. If not, of course, all the content is free. Appreciate you coming in, spending your Monday, May 22nd with us. And we do this every Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Honestly, StreamYard, it's working pretty good right now. I'm kind of excited, not going to jinx anything. But before we get into my plays, before we get into the model, before we welcome on all of our great MLB handicappers, let's do a quick recap of yesterday. Or excuse me, on what was the day before? Friday. Yeah, not ideal, right? Detroit versus Washington, under 9 runs, bad. Kansas City Royals money line plus 120, bad. Texas Rangers, of course, hit, but just wasn't that great of an outing for us. Obviously, as you can see, down 1.47 units. One of our lesser days in a while. Thankfully, over the weekend, of course, not on stream, we did end up going 4-2. We won a couple of units, which was good. But of course, these are just for on stream, and all games will be after the 6:40 window. So, of course, you can tail. All right. And speaking about tailing, even though it's not gambling advice, let's get into play number 1 because I have 2 MLB best bets and a prize picks entry. Let's start. You know what? Let's start in Tampa. Let's start in Tampa, and we're going to go over 8 runs. And I know the line has changed, and I'll explain it in a second. So the pitching matchup is Chris Bassett versus Trevor Kelly. And the hand keeps feeding, so who am I to go against this? Because the Rays offense is just too damn good. We saw them struggle early on with Peralta, who looked to have his best stuff, but then what happened, right? Brewers got their runs in a bullpen game, which the Blue Jays will face today. But then the Rays just battled back with that 3-run home run. Just anyone in this lineup can make an impact. Then we have an angry Blue Jays lineup that the Orioles just swept. I think the Blue Jays are going to score plenty of runs today. But again, Chris Bassett should get hit by the Rays. I've been on the wrong side of Chris Bassett's starts several times. You're probably sick of hearing his names when I pitch him. But if he shoves today, because he's thrown, 27 straight scoreless innings, the peripherals are still there, and they're still bad. If he can shut down the Rays, good for him. I'll give up. Chris Bassett has a below-average strikeout rate and his highest walk rate since 2016. His 4.36 xERA implies regression, as does his 4.52 FIP and 4.69 xFIP. He has yet to allow a run in May, tossing 23 innings and only allowing 9 hits. He's been phenomenal lately, and I'm not saying he's going to get blown up, but his earned run prop is at 2.5 and juice towards the over. He's going to face the best offense in baseball against righties and the third best offense against righties in the month of May. But I'm not just fading Chris Bassett. Like, I didn't just wake up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the over because I think Chris Bassett gives up 3 runs. It's not the point. The Blue Jays, well, that is kind of the point, but it's not the full story. The Blue Jays bullpen has gotten plenty of work in the past couple of days, right? 2 straight extra inning games against the Baltimore Orioles. And Toronto's bullpen is solid, but it's like, it's hard to handicap when it's like you're facing the Rays, right? You're facing the Rays. So even the best bullpen arms against the best offense in baseball, I don't think they're going to fare that well. So while I do think Chris Bassett pitches okay, like I'm thinking 6 innings, I'm thinking 4 runs, which would put us on pace. The Blue Jays bullpen is due to give up 1 or 2. Then we're looking at the Rays side. And it's not like I'm fading the Blue Jays on the money line. While the travel doesn't help them, this offense should absolutely break out today. They've been stringing together hits, but just none have landed with runners in scoring position. They still have the 10th best offense by WRC plus against righties in May and over the full season. And today, they'll get a bullpen game, led by Trevor Kelly. And Trevor Kelly never really goes longer than 2 innings. And the Blue Jays have already seen him, right? They scored 2 runs in 2 innings of work on April 15th. Predicting who's going to follow him is a little bit challenging, but I do think that it's going to be probably Josh Fleming. But again, a lot of Blue Jays right-handed bats against Fleming. Like, he could pitch relatively well, but I just think that the Blue Jays bats are going to come out screaming today. And the model, so now we get to the actual line, because obviously I send these out to my subscribers the night before. And right now, let's go on BetMGM. It's at over 9 at plus 100. So the model has it at 9, right? We're going to go over the ballpark pound model. Let's do a quick refresh. Let's see what the model has right now. So they have it at 9.5 at plus 101. So there's not a ton of value anymore at 9 at plus 100. If you're just seeing this now, I do think maybe a half unit is worth it, right? Because we bet on value. Do I think it's going to soar? Absolutely. Would I have taken it if it were at 9, if my model also has it a little? So based on the model, we could probably figure that the model, if it's a plus 101 for 9.5, it's going to have 9 at around minus 120, minus 125. So you are still seeing value, but the value is so slim, right? When we got it at 8. If I were sitting in your position and I heard this pitch, I think 9 is playable, but I think 9 should be at like a half unit, right? Still playable, still think it goes over, but also we have a full run of line movement, right? Which is normally a very good thing. You want to be on the right side of that line movement. A full run, it's a big move, probably a big move for a reason. And now if you don't want to play that line move, I totally understand. I'm going to have a prize picks entry that kind of correlates with this. So you can play it in that way. I would still take it 9, especially at plus 100. If there's 8.5 out there, fully worthy of a play. 9, take a step back, really do some research, see if you like it. But I think 9.5 at 9 is playable for a half unit. All right, you want to, Producer Cohn, you want to go to, let's go to Minnesota. Let's take a plane to Minnesota, but we're not coming from the West Coast. And I think that's the problem here. So the pitching matchup is John Brebbia versus Bailey Ober. We're going to the San Francisco Giants versus the Minnesota Twins at 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Really tough scheduling for both teams. Twins are coming off that West Coast road trip where they must travel from Los Angeles to Minnesota, right? They just had that series against the Angels, and now they don't have an off day to adjust. Same goes for the Giants. Homestand in San Francisco. Now they got to fly to Minnesota. It's not an easy plane ride. And so that's what initially made me lean towards the under, right? Because you guys know how I cap. I have my original leans based on what I know about baseball, and then I go to the model. And if the model agrees with me and it's showing a lot of value, that's when it becomes actionable. It's exactly what happened with these 2 plays today. And the model is obsessed with this one. I'm not as obsessed. I really do like it. But the model is showing the most value, like on a total in a very long time, like 2 runs of value. We'll talk about it. So Bailey Ober is just a stud at this point. My bad, Tom Seaver, didn't mean to hit you on the head there. Bailey Ober is just a stud. His 3.63 xERA does imply some negative regression at some point, but the thing is he has like a 2 ERA. So his ability to limit walks in hard contact has him firmly in the solid bucket of starting pitchers. And his 3.00 FIP better exemplifies how well he's pitched this season, and I expect it to continue today. The Giants have had an incredible April against right-handed pitching. They rank second in baseball with a 134 WRC plus, creating this Giants crush righties, can't hit lefties narrative. I bought into it, right? Saw the Giants crush Jesus Luzardo yesterday. We always see these kinds of things, and it's on me for buying into it. They always tend to regress to the mean. We got to look at the Giants and be like, well, they're filled with right-handed bats. Why are they all crushing righties but can't hit lefties? It's just a bad stretch. But in reality, a lot of right-handed bats in this Giants lineup that should hit better off lefties. They have a bad matchup today against Bailey Ober. Because when you consider what is Bailey Ober best at, over the past 2 seasons, it's been getting out right-handed bats, holding them to a 556 OPS in 2022 and a 516 OPS this season. If you have an OPS below 600, you're one of baseball's worst hitters. And that's what Bailey Ober has been doing to right-handed bats over the past 2 seasons. This isn't just like a May sample. This isn't just a this season sample. This is dating back even to last season. And in May, the Giants have struggled against right-handed pitching. It's starting to regress to the mean. They rank 26th in baseball in WRC plus at 84, 16% below league average, and 25th in OPS at 657. Not ideal. So the Giants are going to go with a bullpen game. It's John Brebbia who will get the start, but he's not going to throw longer than maybe 1, maybe 2 innings. And most likely, Sean Manaea is going to follow him. That's where things can get dicey because he has been horrible. He's a trash can. He's got like a 7.8 xERA. Kind of scary. But considering this, the Twins have a big issue with left-handed pitching. And they're a little bit different, right? Because you look at their lineup, who are the big boppers, right? You could say Correa, you could say Buxton, but everyone else is mostly left-handed, whether that be Alex Kirilloff, whether that be Joey Gallo. You go down the lineup like Nick Gordon, you go down and it's a lot of lefties in this lineup. So it makes sense that they would have an 88 WRC plus against Southpaws this year, 12% below league average, ranking 22nd in Major League Baseball. It's been better in May, but not really. They're still below the league average. They sit at 16th in baseball and WRC plus and 18th in OPS, against left-handed pitching. And following these starters are going to be moderately well-rested bullpens. The only arms that won't be available for the Giants are Camilo Doval and Jacob Junis. We want Doval in there, not a huge deal, but they also have plenty of lefties. Like you go look at the Giants pen, a lot of lefties in there, which again, I do like. Everyone except Jorge Lopez is going to be available for the Twins today, and the Twins still do have one of baseball's best bullpens. The model is a huge favorite of this under. So I'm just scrolling through the model right now. Its line is at 7. It's plus 118 towards 7.5, which would be the implied over, minus 138 towards 6.5. So it thinks it's going to land on 7. They think this game is going to be a 4-3 game won by the Minnesota Twins. That's pretty low considering we are at 9. And then what are we looking at in terms of line movement? Let's see. 8.5 at minus 105. 8.5 at minus 105 is still definitely playable. The model, like I had this game capped at 8 runs. That's what I think the line should be. The model thinks the line should be at 7. But the main part of that is both the model and me have it going under 8.5. That's that key number there. Getting minus 105, still well worthy of a unit. So those are the 2 MLB plays today. I got the Rays versus the Blue Jays over 8. Playable, definitely at 8.5. Half unit if you can only find 9. Then on the flip side, under 9 runs in the Giants versus the Twins at 8.5, still playable. I think the game should be at 8. I think it lands on 8. Model thinks it lands on 7. It'd be great if it lands on 7. How about it landing on 4? How about a 3-1 win? Why not us? Those are the 2 MLB best bets. But of course, we got a Prize Picks entry, and it's correlated. Let's talk about it. So, shout out Javon, who will be coming on stream later. Nolan Arenado, more than 1.5 bases. And if you guys weren't aware, Javon has started writing up his props on justbaseball.com. So I'll quickly go over them for you, but he's going to make the pitch on this. Like, I know he's playing it today. Basically, and this is simple analysis, he's going to break it down in more detail, and I want to give it to him because I am tailing him. I want to be clear. Like, we were talking about this morning, I'm tailing him. I thought his pitch was excellent. Nolan Arenado against the lefty in Great American Ballpark. There's your pitch. So, Chris Bassett over 2.5 earned runs. Chris Bassett over 2.5 earned runs. I'm going to war with you, Chris Bassett. I'm going to war with you. You keep taking my money. You keep throwing it in the dumpster. You keep putting it down the paper shredder because he hasn't allowed a run since last season, basically. You tell me. We got a lot of beautiful people in chat. A lot of beautiful, smart people in chat. Tell me one thing. Chris Bassett has a scoreless inning streak of 27 straight innings. Why is his earned run prop juice towards the over? Why is it juice towards the over? Oh, I know why. Because he's giving up 60 runs today. Maybe not 60, but I think 4 is in his future. Rays are one of baseball's best. Chris Bassett, the peripherals, like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, and I'm willing to keep betting against it. But this is the final stand. This is the final stand. It's like in Game of Thrones. We're going up against the Night King. We're going up against the Night King, right? His powers don't make any sense. Low-key thing about Game of Thrones, I wish there was more Night King. It's always one of my favorite characters, but we're going against him today. Let's see you do it against the Rays. If he can shut down the Rays, the best offense in baseball against righties, who doesn't have to travel at all and just gets to sit in the trop. If he can do that, you tip your cap. Because then he owns me. He owns me. But again, I'm not fading the Jays. Like, I'm not taking the Rays money on it. I think the Jays bats are going to show up. I ain't worried about that. It's you, Chris Bassett. It's me versus you. Let's see who the better man is. All right? And if you're new to Prize Picks, make sure to use code JustBaseball when you download for a full instant deposit match up to $100 on Prize Picks. If Bassett deals again, you charge it to the game. No, you charge it to me. I'm taking this on the chin. I'm not charging it to the game. It's kind of a wimpy way to go about it. It's on me. You blame me, you chirp me, it's on me. I'm not charging it to the game. Peter, listen to this mistake. My book made this morning Guardians team total over 1/2. I slammed it. Out of baby. But yeah, don't charge it to the game. I don't want that excuse. Nope, not one bit. You charge it to me. And if it hits, all praise to me. If it loses, all chirping, you suck, you don't know ball, goes to me. I'm willing to take it on the chin. Don't charge it to the game. It's on me. All right? Prize Picks, banged it. All right? 0.2 units. We never go crazy on Prize Picks. We never go crazy. But I do really like this value today, considering both lines are about minus 130. If you were to lay them on BetMGM, you wouldn't get plus 200. All right? A little sneaky. Give me that on Prize Picks. 0.2 units to win 0.4. We got 1.2 units on the over 8 in Rays versus Blue Jays. And we got 1.1 units on 9 at minus 110. Let's bang it. Let's bang it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let Bassett take all your Cal Quantrill coins. Charge it to Peter. I want it. I want it. I want it right in here. All right, let's get to the model, producer Cohen. The Ballpark Pal model. Also, hey, shout out StreamYard so far. I mean, shout out StreamYard. Can we get a little shout out StreamYard? Can we get an F Streamlabs in the chat, please? Just F Streamlabs. Just spam it, please. I want to see that beautiful, and by beautiful, I mean piece of garbage software. All right, let's get to the model. Let's get to the model, my friends. What's the first game on the model, producer Cohen? Texas versus Pittsburgh. Ooh, everyone and their mother wants to take the Pirates as a dog. What a sketchy line, ladies and gentlemen. What a sketchy line. No way the Rangers lose, right? We're going to have a battle today because you're going to hear both sides of an argument, right? We're going to have some people on the Rangers on the stream. We're going to have some people on the Pirates. What I want to show you here is pretty cut and dry, right? 51.5% chance for the Pirates to winning according to the model. right? Not much, but you are seeing value on the Pirates today. One other point, slight value towards the under. But we're going to go to the next game because I know our guy Krabs, I see him in queue. I see that man in queue. And he's going to bring on the pitch. So I'm not going to waste any more time on this game. But as you can see, the model favors the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go to Philly, right? As you can see, a lot of value on the Diamondbacks. And Krabs, I can see him in queue. Maybe he's quivering. Maybe he doesn't give a shit. And if I were him, I wouldn't really give a shit either. What I do know about the Phillies is that they haven't hit a lefty in a very long time. They've been garbage against lefties, but this is a Phillies offense that projects better against lefties. It's kind of like the Giants against lefties. Like they haven't been hitting lefties at all, but they project better against lefties. Phillies are that same way. A lot of righties in the lineup, like Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh. Those guys can hit both sides of the plate. The only guy who's not really a lefty guy is Kyle Schwarber, of course, big burly lefty. But you look at Alec Boehm, great against left-handed pitching, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos. All these guys should be better against lefties. Tommy Henry seems like a very good matchup for him. So you're probably wondering, well, why are you not on Diamondbacks plus 1.5? Look at all that value. We're going to hear Krabs talk about it. I could easily see the Phillies just putting in work. But to that point, if you are a person who blindly tails the model, which I would understand because the model's been great, tons of value on the Diamondbacks today. And the total is pretty spot on. I think it's pretty accurate. All right, what else we got on the model? St. Louis versus Reds. This game is pretty interesting, too, because it's a similar thing here. As you can see, a lot of value on the Cincinnati Reds today. But I don't love it, obviously, because Brennan Williamson, I just don't know how he can keep getting away with it. His stuff ticked down. He gave us one of the great outings in Coors Field history from a rookie. Good for you. I don't see it continuing against the Cardinals today. But at the same time, I think the Reds, maybe the reason why there's value here is because the Reds do hit lefties well. They absolutely do, right? This is their better split. And right now you're looking in May and you're like, oh, on Fangraphs, it says they have a shit WRC plus. Yes, I know, but these lineups project better. And that's the point. Like all these stats are going to even out in favor of historical trends. Like the Reds, a lot of righties in their lineup, should be better against lefties. I like runs in this game. The model doesn't. That's why, for me, there's nothing actionable in this game. Obviously, I probably would lean the Cardinals, but of course not going to bet it because there's no value there. And then I kind of like the over. I think it's seen a little bit of steam towards the over, but again, we're looking at the model liking the under. What else we got in the model? Houston versus Milwaukee? Bang, let's get to it. So, as you can tell, the model's obsessed with the under. And I get it. But I'm a little surprised. It likes it this much. Because as you can see, 7.5. And the thing is, it's been bouncing up and down between 7.5 and 8. I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts about this under? Huh. I don't know. Weather agrees. Yeah. I mean, is this under a play? Look at that. Look how much value it's showing. 6.5 should be plus 101. Minus 17%. Like, is that just what's going on in Milwaukee today? American Family Field. Minus 17%. Winds blowing in dramatically. If I'm not mistaken, ain't American Family Field a dome? How is wind blowing in that much? Someone give me a check. Is the dome open? Do they have a dome? Am I being an idiot? Roof open today. This might be a W model play. Wind blowing in. Sneaky under. Sunday Night Baseball fade as well. Astros bats may be slow. Astros didn't play on Sunday Night Baseball, though. It was the Guardians and Mets. Saw the model last night, punching it under 8 at minus 105. Look at that man. Consider the under, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I think it's time to bring on Professor Krabs. All right. Krabs.
Let's go. W StreamYard.
Wow. And I can hear you. This is amazing. Amazing.
And I told you, Streamlabs, it's a lot. Right?
Horrible.
You need somebody on that at all times, and it's hard to use. But you can do more stuff. StreamYard, a little more simple, right? Taking it easy, no stress.
We're simple guys just trying to give people winners. The last thing I need is some piece of shit software crashing in the middle of pitches. It's the last thing I need. All we're trying to do is give the people winners. Start off with your first winner. What are we looking at?
Sure. Speaking of the Pirates, yeah, I'll go ahead and bet them. I love that I'm coming on first because everyone after is just going to be on the opposite, but I don't give a hoot. I don't. Pirates ML, sure. Ortiz has been terrible in his 2 starts this season. Dane Dunning has been Nolan Ryan in a Rangers uniform. It's insane. W's Dane Dunning, because we used to like this guy last year, and then he was terrible. You told us to stop liking him or whatever. It ended up kind of just turning into a bit because of how bad he was at times. And then this season, my goodness, I guess they put him in the bullpen at one point this year, and the guy turns into prime DeGrom. It's been great. And then they pull him back into the rotation his last 3 starts. He's been impeccable, only given up a handful of runs in those last 3 starts since he's been back in the rotation, going up against the lowly Pirates who have come way back down to earth since that hot start. Got a lot of flack for not having Pittsburgh in the power rankings early on in the season. Now you're seeing why. But huge but here. I can't get past this line. I have to bet it. I have to take the Pirates here plus check. It's disgusting. It is what it is. But with that total moving up, and with Dane Dunning opening up minus 110 in this spot, I don't think odds makers are expecting the extra runs to be coming from the Rangers, or else they'd be minus 250 in this spot, in my eyes. That's how I see the board here. That's how I see this game. So with the close spread or ML, whatever you want to call it, right? Very, very close MLs, way closer than we'd all expect. I have to take a stab on the lowly Pirates at home here. I don't want to do it. I have to do it. Ortiz is at 2.5 earned runs on the books. I mean, give me a break on Prize Picks as well. Ridiculous. The over looks so free with the way the Rangers have been hitting. And then also Simeon and Seager are both up for runs on Prize Picks as well. I mean, give me a break. If you check the last 5 on those charts, which is not everything, you might not find a greener goblin than those 2 guys. So odds makers, I think, are kind of tipping their hand in this game. And I'm backing the Pirates at plus money here to pull out a win at home. And I'm going to pinch my nose. I'm going to close my eyes, and I might not even watch it. Might have to just check the score after because it's gross.
It might be a little scary to watch. One thing, shout out Top Shelf Action for subbing. Appreciate you, my friend. Number 2, as soon as I saw this line, I was like, there's no point in me pitching it because I know for a fact Krabs is going to be on. This is easily the grossest line. How about that minus 110 opener?
Doesn't make a lot of sense, man. I mean, Dane Dunning has been him. He's been insane. But is he that guy? Is he that guy?
No. And that's what I was thinking this morning. I'm like, is this the books telling us that Dane Dunning is the problem here? And like, what should Dane Dunning be as a favorite on the road? And I was trying to think, and I was like, I think a reasonable price is minus 150.
That's what I was going to say at the lowest. Yeah.
At the lowest. Like minus 150 is probably
I wouldn't be on the Pirates.
Yeah.
If they were minus 150.
Because like Rangers traveling, and I'm like, all right, minus 150, that's what they should be. But then they opened up at minus 110, but then it moved towards the Rangers.
It's going to move. It's going to get bet, you know?
Yeah, it's going to get bet. It's the Rangers against the Pirates. So I was like, this is one of those games where I would be too stressed to watch. Like it would hit, and I'd be like fizzing.
Yeah.
Like my tummy would hurt.
Yeah, that's why I might not watch it. And I've been trying not to take crumb teams, like scum on the bottom of my shoe teams as much this season, and it's worked.
How about the Royals?
You're getting to my point here. Yes. I've been trying not to take scum of the earth, scum on the bottom of my shoe teams like the Royals and the Pirates as much. So instead of playing both today, I favor one, which is the Pirates. And it's a plus money. If you're taking these teams, they probably should be bet at plus money no matter what, right? And the Royals should probably not be bet as a favorite anyways. Do I think Singer gets right today? Sure. But I'm trying to limit the crummy teams on the card, and I think that's benefited us so far this year, and it should benefit us tonight with the Pirates on the ML.
I think if you're going to bet a crummy team, it is the Pirates. But how about this? This is way out of the ordinary for you. This I don't even get. So I really want to hear the pitch. Phillies minus 7,000 on the money line today. You're laying 70 units. No, we got a 2-unit bomb on the Phillies to win a unit or win what point, not whatever it is.
I put 2 units on Philly at -220, so it's the same thing as betting 1 unit on -110. I think it's 0.91.
Yeah,
that's what
like
pays
that.
out. Look, not for the faint of heart.
You're basically betting the Phillies at -110.
Pretty much. Might as well be. As long as they don't lose, yes, 100%. And they're not going to lose today, chat. Look, I get it. I'm giving you guys a -250. I'm not going to spend an hour pitching it. The Phillies should win today. But should they? And should they be -250 at this point with how Wheelers look this season and they're facing a lefty, which they haven't been able to hit all year? Probably not. I'm thinking by this line that Philly does get right today. I mean, Henry, on paper, he should pitch very well like every lefty's done against Philly over the last month, for sure. Well, if that's the case, and this line shouldn't be here, and I know the Phillies are going to get more line respect than they should. They were in the World Series last year. I get it. And I know they're a better team on paper than they've been performing. So I understand if they're going to be a little bit more favored than they should be or appear to be when you're looking at the slate. I get it. But enough is enough. I mean, this is too fat of an ML. I'm laying it. I'm putting 2 units on it. They're going to get a win for us tonight. Trey Turner's going to hit a nuke like our guy Javon was talking about all freaking day. We saw his run prop got taken off of Prize Picks. Thank God. You're going to see them hit well against lefties like they should be doing all season, like they did all last year. It's got to come back. Law of averages. Baseball's a long season. They haven't hit lefties well in the beginning 25% like they should have been, like they did all last year. I think that positively regresses as the season goes on, and I'm buying low on the Phillies right now. Buying low on a lot of these teams, right? The Mets, they're starting to get going. You talked about it 2 weeks ago on BTL. These teams that have stunk it up, they're starting to come back to life a little bit here. And the teams like the Pirates who got out to those hot starts have come back down to earth, right? Baseball's a long year. Everything averages out. I think Philly is a way better team against left-handed pitching than they've been.
Agreed.
And this is a hammer spot. They're going to put up some runs. The only reason I didn't take the -1.5 for team total, I don't take -1.5 with home teams. They burn me too much in the past.
Smart.
And it worries me a little bit with the team total here. I mean, what if this becomes some sort of, pitcher's
Yeah, what if Wheeler shoves and they win 4-2? And then
so I'm just laying the ML. I'm putting 2 units on it. It's greasy. I know, chats. But in my eyes, there's value, and I don't see the Phillies losing. So I'm willing to go 2 units instead of 1 and just lay the ML, not fear the juice, and embrace it.
The VIP play, and all of us only had to Venmo you $100 for it. I'm excited to do this stream during football season because this is the exact pitch. It's going to be like, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs -17 against the Arizona Cardinals. You were like, why is it 17? The Chiefs have gotten off to a little bit slow start after the Super Bowl hangover, and now they're -17. Chiefs win 34-3.
It's the same thing. And look, I wish there was more baseball reasonings for some of these. I really do. There have been more baseball reasonings for a lot of my plays this year, but today, unfortunately, only limited plays. Pirates, it's a must bet for me at plus money in that nasty spot. And then I'm laying it with the Phillies on the ML. They're winning today. Don't ever think it.
I love it.
Don't ever think it.
I love you, Krause. You call it a must bet. I have to bet on.
I don't have a choice. I don't have it. I didn't even place the bet. It just automatically locked in. I checked my pick and it was just in there. It's a must bet.
Before you go, because we got Ollie and Q. Before you go, Lakers or Nuggets?
Oh, dude, I cannot get a read on the hardwood, but I'll go Lakers again. I'm not quitting. Ollie knows I'm a quitter. He's probably laughing right now, staring at me, but I'm no quitter. I think the Lakers pull it out. They get a win tonight. The Celtics are quitters. They gave up in the second quarter last night. Lakers might stink, but they're at least going to give you that effort. LeBron's there. I mean, he will fucking kill those young guys if they don't go out there and try their hardest. And LeBron's hurt, but I think they got to scrap out a win here, and I like it.
My buddy texted me today, and I thought it was just hilarious. He was like, "I put 110 to win 100 on Lakers -3, and if the Lakers lose, I lose $110, and LeBron loses his legacy. So who's the real loser here?" And I was like, "A good point. You just lost a bet, but LeBron loses a legacy. So who's the real loser?"
Yeah, he has way much more to lose than us. Although LeBron is, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you lose it. LeBron loses his dignity. All right, appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Go Phils, go Pirates. Big Pennsylvania day for you.
Need it, Peter. I'll catch you tomorrow. All right,
catch you tomorrow. Go Pennsylvania. All right, talk to you. We got Ollie 1 unit coming on stream, right? Ollie 1 unit. Mitch Keller is not pitching today. What are you doing here?
Well, he pitched on the weekend, and the first 5 was beautiful. Didn't have first 5, had full game. Some jabroni gave up the lead, so I lost my bet. But Mitch Keller did Mitch Keller things. It's looking mighty fine, Peter.
In fantasy, do you play fantasy baseball?
Oh, like a sicko.
Like a sicko. He's number 1 in pitching points right now. Of course, Ohtani has 1 billion points, but
yeah, depending on your league scoring, I think he's third in my league, and of course, yes, I own him in my dynasty league and my regular 3-team keeper league. That is just. Do you do buy-ins for yours? Because my most competitive league is free of entry and it's been going on for 10 plus years, and it's by far and away the most competitive, most shit talking. And it's just literally all for bragging rights.
It's so funny. My league from home, which is my most competitive league as well. It was paid for a while. We took last year and we just did free for bragging rights. And people at the end of the season just gave up completely. So we're bringing back the payment. We upped it to the biggest it's been, and now it's a dogfight.
Yeah,
and your boy is 7-0, undefeated.
I
have Mitch Keller, I have Acuna,
Smart.
I got Trout. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but that's what I'm doing, bragging.
Hey, sometimes it's okay to toot. Just don't toot too early.
Yeah, can't toot too early. But let's talk about your plays today. What do you want?
All right. Yeah, just one pretty basic, pretty standard, pretty boring, but I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't play it type of play. Cardinals through the first 5, run line. I can go into deep analytical, nerdy details if you want, but at the end of the day, the Reds are throwing out Brandon Williamson again, right? Just absolutely blew everyone's mind by pitching 6 innings, shutout ball in Coors in his debut. Blew everybody's heads apart.
Including mine.
Including mine too. I didn't have a bone to pick in that game, but I think today we'll kind of see some regression in his first start at Great American Ballpark. The poor kid had pitching Coors. Now he's come home, pitching the small park against arguably one of the hotter teams in baseball after being one of the most disappointing teams, probably the most disappointing team in April. The Cardinals have really turned it around. They're really hitting both righties and lefties very well. They're hitting away. They're hitting on the road. And today they've got 9 righties and Nolan Horman today in that lineup, or 8 righties, including Tommy Edman, the switch hitter, and Nolan Horman, who's the home run leading odds getter.
Nolan
Horman, however you want to call it. I'm not picky. I've heard it both ways. And he's
you've
actually
heard Horman? No way you've heard.
Of course
Nolan
I have.
Horman.
Why? I wouldn't have said it if I haven't heard it.
It's a good point. It is Gorman though.
Okay, well that's great to know. I won't make that mistake again. And Javon pointed out to me that he is your home run leader on FanDuel with odds metrics, which is pretty fucking wild considering he's batting 7th and the only lefty on lefty matchup you're going to get in the entire game, by the way, because on the flip side, the Reds stacked with 9 righties against Jordan Montgomery, who, when you look at the numbers, splits really are pretty even, righty versus lefty. However, as long as regular hits allowed, but he has given up all his home runs to right-handed hitters this year, so that is something to be wary of. However, on the flip side, the Reds against left-handed pitching the last 2 to 3 weeks have only a 30% fly ball rate compared to almost a 50% ground ball rate, which plays into Jordan Montgomery, what he wants to do. Sinker curveball, most of the time, change up, put away pitch. I think it's pretty straightforward. I'd be pretty shocked if my pesky Reds, who my only future of the season is their over win total, I'd be pretty shocked if they come out firing today and win through the first 5. So this is just my don't overthink it play today. Give me the Cardinals through the first 5.
Why? And I like the play. I'm just curious why 0.75 units, not a unit, not 1.4. What? Just talk about the unit structure a little bit.
When we're feeling good, we'll throw a full unit on the play. And for a couple weeks there, first 2.5 weeks of May, we're feeling good. So we got back to the 1 unit. And then all it takes is 3 to 4 days to erase all the progress you made. And I had a really bad Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I scaled it back while I'm not necessarily reading the board extremely well. Had good reads on Saturday, had good reads on Sunday. Those were half unit plays. Bumped it back up to 0.75 unit plays today. So, just trying to be more cautious with my bankroll this year compared to last year, where I think July and August, I lost like 35 units on chasing plays, all one unit. Tried to be consistent with that. When it's not going well, don't chase. It's okay to scale back the plays. So just trying to see one through on stream, because I think 1 and 2 were 0 and 3 in the last time I was on here last week. So let's get back in the winning ways on stream, and I think the Cardinals can do that for me today.
Good stuff, my man, and that's just a good lesson. Bankroll management, right? Rome wasn't built in one day.
Someone's got to try to do it. We'll see how it goes throughout the season this year, but I'm trying.
I love it, my man. Good stuff. Great play. Appreciate you coming on. No Prize Picks entries today for you.
I really only had one play that I really liked on Prize Picks today, and I'm not trying
pitch it for the people.
Yeah,
you're not playing it, but
I know you guys talk a lot about the Rangers and Pirates game. I think Jack Sawinski hits a homer today. I think he finally. It's been a long time since he's gone yard. I think today, Jack Sawinski hit run an RBI. That's definitely my favorite play. I sprinkled on his home run as well. Sinker slider guy out of Dane Dunning, right? Been absolutely overperforming this year. The expected numbers way above the numbers you see on the surface, and those are kind of inflated. You know, his numbers are better than what they appear out of his time in the bullpen, where he was really good. Don't get me wrong, and I think maybe the Rangers should reevaluate that. Maybe keep him in the bullpen, much like my Boston Red Sox should do with one Tanner Houck. Just put him in the bullpen where he can be elite for 2 to 3 innings at a time. There's no secret. These guys, some of them, especially the 2-pitch guys that throw 2 pitches 80% of the time or more, can't get through a lineup a third time. They just can't do it until they develop a third pitch, which some have proven they can't. I think Jack Sawinski and the Pirates are going to get to Dane Dunning today. And that goes for the other side too. I like the over in that game, but not a stream play. So if anybody wants a Prize Picks play, that's my favorite play. 17, 12, and 2 on Prize Picks play of the days this year. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. We'll take it. Nothing too crazy, but
that's in the green.
It's in the green if it's only one play at a time, of course. So not necessarily in the green if you pair it with cake, but giving you one play that hits a day is my goal with that. So Jack Sawinski, I like his chances today.
Good stuff, my man. Appreciate you coming on. All right, Lakers or Nuggets?
Don't care. Don't know. Don't give a shit. Respectfully.
Good. Respectfully. Love it.
Of course.
Talk to you soon. All right.
All right, Simon.
Good pitches from our guy Ollie 1 unit. Who we got in queue? Mid-major will be here very soon. You're becoming we're ahead of schedule. 5 minutes early. You're becoming as boring as Peter, Ollie. I am a boring bettor. I will never come out and be like, yeah, you know what I'm on today? I'm on a 7-leg home run lay. You should put a unit on it to win 58,000 units. It's not profitable. There are people who can go on hot streaks, absolutely make you a boatload of coin on those. It's not my name, right? 44 units last year. 1 unit plays. We build and we build and we build. We build in the shadows. I don't want anyone knowing what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? We build, we build, we build. We manage our bankroll and we win long term. That's the name of the game. It's boring, but it works. Discipline is key. Shit, def be hard. Absolutely. And just while we're waiting, if you got any questions about the slate today, feel free to drop them in. I love StreamYard. Love you, StreamYard. Love you. Streamlabs. No questions, ladies and gentlemen? What are we on tonight? Lakers or Nuggets? What are your thoughts on first 5 unders versus full game? It's a good question. So I always talk about this when taking totals, right? Why do you like the over? Why do you like the under? Do you like it because you're fading the starting pitchers? Or do you like the full game because you feel like runs could come later in the game of the bullpens, right? So if you have 2 starting pitchers, that's the reason you're taking the full game over, maybe go first 5 over, right? Same thing with unders. Why do you like the play? You fading starters, you fading the bullpen, so stuff like that. All right, let's welcome on mid-major. Mid-major, how are you?
Doing well, Peter. Thanks to you. By the glory of Peter Appel, I made some money yesterday, so thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
How's it going here?
It's going well. StreamYard. No weird shit. I can hear you. You look great. We've had no problems so far. It's been amazing. I'm having a great time.
It is fantastic to see you in the high-resolution camera that you purchased and to take in all those pixels. So it is a blessing that we're here together.
Shout out producer Cohen.
Shout out producer Cohen. I am sad I can't see him anymore though. So producer Cohen, it was nice knowing you. But fuck off, I guess.
Let's get into your plays. What do you want first?
What's the first play you have listed for me?
Boston, Los Angeles. Nerfy, you sick
Nerfy.
shit. What are you doing?
So, talk to me about Jaime Barria's slider. It is nasty this year.
I love Barria.
Nasty.
Yes.
So his is actually the first part I'm worried about. I'll talk about Tanner Houck, but his first time batters are facing him, 500 OPS. Not great. And in a total that's seen 9.5, and that's expected to come later in the innings, I think these two pitchers deal pretty well against some pretty heavy names, and some big names on the back of the jersey. And Tanner Houck, first time through the order, OPS 300, fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
This total at 9.5 is not expected to come in early, in my opinion. We have a bullpen inning game in the Angels. After Jaime Barria sees you once or twice, he gets a little shaky. I don't know how long he's going. After, of course, Tucker Davidson pitches a three perfect innings, of course. Ariel Luke probably is going to come in the game. It's not looking good on the Angels side. But at the same time, Tanner Houck, the third time he sees through the order, awful stats. I think it's over 1,000 OPS, I believe, if I'm correct. But all that equation is leading up to the full game over, make 9.5 line making sense. But the first inning Nerfy, no one's taking it, Peter. But it makes baseball sense, doesn't it? And I'm getting value at plus money.
It does, because what you're doing right now, Tanner Houck should be in the bullpen, because second time through the order, his OPS flies into like the 900s.
Yep, exactly.
Jaime Barria is a swingman. Very good for a couple of innings, but there's a reason he's not in the rotation long term.
Correct.
It kind of falls apart, like you said. So what you're taking is the best version of both. And
Correct.
Tanner Houck is much better against right-handed bats, if I'm not mistaken.
And the first three batters to the Angels, right-handed. Oh, except Shohei, I'm sorry, but
yeah. So you just got to hope Shohei doesn't go yard.
And if it's a 0-2 count and he hits a nuke at plus money, I'm willing to take it. But it's a great value play, in my opinion, to have plus money against these 6 big names and against pitchers who people don't really know about. At least first time through the order, I should say.
You want to know what the line has moved towards?
What is it? Minus money?
Minus 105 now.
Interesting. Little interesting. Who's betting the fucking Nerfy? And to have the juice go the other way, I mean, right? Who's betting the Nerfy with these two lineups and have the juice go in my favor? Catches my eye for sure.
Plus 115, you dirty dog.
That's what opened up, man.
This might be a surgical Nerfy. Okay.
And you know what caught my eye?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I love Tanner Houck, his OPS, first time through the order. He's been fantastic. But I was watching the Just Baseball on YouTube. And you guys are talking about Jaime Barria, one of the best unknown relievers, and his fucking nasty slider this year.
Isn't he good?
Dude, he's looking nasty. But he's, again, after the first time you see that slider, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah. First time you see it, you don't know what to do with it. And that's proven over about 20 innings so far this year. I'm expecting it to hold true.
I've been on Angels, I've been on unders, and when Barria comes in, I'm like, hell yeah.
You feel good.
We're good for a couple innings. But couple innings, that's what his role is. That's what he's going to do today. Interesting pick.
Interesting, isn't it?
Let's get to pick number 2.
Yeah, what do you got from me, producer Cohen?
Houston.
Houston total team under. Yes, 3.5. So this is screaming at me. This is one of my favorite plays in a while, but when I've increased my unit size of late, it has gone to shit. So I'm staying consistent. It's going to Peter Appel route. But Corbin Burns with the money on the over and the line going down to 7.5, with Burns' pitching outs going to the over, with Christian Javier's pitching outs going from 17.5 to 16.5, barely just to the over. It's something that Burns is absolutely going to deal. He doesn't have a fantasy score up on Prize Picks today, and the way the Houston offense has looked has not been great. They got no hit through 5 innings by fucking James Caprielin. I mean, Peter.
James Caprielin, yeah. I mean, what
dude.
Yeah.
They had no hit. Anyways, I think Burns absolutely deals tonight. Absolutely deals, in my opinion. I'm also on the first 5 money line for 2 units on the Brewers.
Is that a part of your stream play?
Yep.
Yeah. So Cohen, you want to put up Brewers as a part of this play, so they're all together. You want to throw up both?
So
StreamYard. It's more smooth, but we can't put up 2 at the same time. I still love you, StreamYard. Way better than StreamYard.
We're learning.
So, okay, I like this play. 2 things that help your case. Astros team total, you got a plus 115 down to plus 100. If we look at the first 5 innings, you're on minus 110. All right, it's still at minus 110, but the Astros team total has come down. So overall, you're looking good in terms of line movement.
Yeah, but I will say just by chance, if you open up a random web page on your browser, you will see to record a win. When the line is minus 110 for the full game still, Burns is at plus 155, Javier plus 205. And when Javier's pitched 3 straight starts going over or getting at least 18 outs, and now his opening line opened up at 17.5, now it's at 16.5 with money on the under, and the lines drop down, it tells me that Burns is going to deal. Javier's not going to be that sharp today, in my opinion.
Good stuff, my man. Is that all you got today, or you got 2 more?
I got 2 more. What's next, producer Cohen?
Philly,
that's the squarest play I'm on. I think they absolutely deal against Tommy Henry. He's actually been pretty good. Which surprisingly, the toss is a 90-mile-per-hour fastball with 0 movement, 0 spin, and just nobody can hit it. But, man, the line is it's as square as you can get. Line is screaming Philadelphia. Wheeler had a pretty bad last start. I was on him, and he looked not great against the Giants. Also, the Phillies' defense is absolutely trash. But everything's screaming that the Phillies going to rake off of Tommy Henry today. As well as he's pitched. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. All I was going to say is it's at minus 1.5 at plus 105. Is that worth a play, or do you think stick with the just win by 1?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's not saying that if Henry's going to get beaten up, it means that in my head, it's not they're going to be winning by 1. It's going to be more than 1. So if you're getting plus money at 105, absolutely take it. I got the minus 150 because I'm a pussy, but no one else is as much as a pussy as I am. But absolutely, I would take that as well. Might sprinkle that.
Good stuff. And we got another one. Pirates.
The Pirates. So I was debating between first 5, the plus run, or their full game plus 1.5. But I went for the full game. Last year, the most profitable bet in baseball, Peter. Did you know what it was?
No.
Home dog plus 1.5 in all of baseball. And that's where we find ourselves today. As you I know in your baseball brain, Rangers just make a fuck ton of sense. But not everything that makes sense hits every day. Yep. And Dane Dunning has pitched beautifully, absolutely beautifully. But that's not who he is, and we know it. He's a bullpen guy. He's been fantastic in the bullpen this year. But he's pitched fantastic the last 3 starts. Last 3 starts, he's easily gone over. Last 2 starts, he's gone 18 outs easily with very low pitch count. Today, his pitching outs are at 15.5, barely juiced the over. That's very interesting. That catches my eye for sure. Against the Pirates offense, that's only gone over 4 runs or more in 3 of their 17 games this year. And we see a very small line with a total at 9 in Pittsburgh. It's a pitcher-friendly park. I mean, it's not all. If it was all Luis Ortiz, then Dunning would be minus 160 plus.
Yeah.
Why is he minus 130? It's because he's going to revert back to the Dane Dunning that we know on the road last year, who had like a 7 ERA.
Yep.
So that really catches my eye. And at the same time, the Rangers bullpen, they do have some good arms. Do you know how many saves the Will Smith has this month for the Rangers? Or any save situations, I should say. He's been able to pitch in. No. 3 is 3. Not a lot, not a little, but that's telling me that the Rangers bullpen, the best arms, you should say, they don't have a lot of work in the essential innings. And the Pirates bullpen is still top 10, as bad as people perceive them to be.
No, they have some guys back there. I mean, David Bednar is arguably the best closer in baseball right now.
Colin
Holderman has been legit. Like, we make the joke like Holds is the dumbest stat in baseball, but he's literally the king of holds because you get him to the 8th and the 9th, and then the game's over. The problem is that the Rangers offense just hasn't been hitting. So that's why I'm so fascinated with this game is that, more people are going to come on later and pitch the Rangers. And I'm so curious to see how this game ends up. I knew it was going to be one of those games where the line is weird. People are going to be on opposite sides, and it's just going to be a battle.
Course.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. But I have a team at a short line with a short price, a home dog with a short price with a high total when they haven't scored against a pitcher who's been fantastic his last 3 starts, sub 2 ERA, and it's minus 130, Peter, after they just dick whipped the Rockies at home.
Yes, they did.
And something that you mentioned early on, the team coming after a series against the Oakland Athletics, it's a different pitcher. Not everyone's that bad in pitching. So I'm the Rockies as well, but I was talking to Houston, but also the Rockies. Their pitching staff is absolutely terrible. So they see a decent pitcher today, see if their bats score 20 runs again.
Good stuff, my man. Great card. Line movement is on your side on every single one of your picks.
Oh, yeah. COV always goes well for sure, huh?
Yeah, I've been on the wrong side of that a few too many times. Appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
All right,
We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thanks, Producer Cohen.
Producer Cohen just gave you the salute. Who else we got in queue right now? We got Colbert or we got DeGen? Colby. Wow. Look at the stash. Look at the stash. Colby, can you hear me?
We got you.
We got you. Look at this. Look at this technology.
It looks gorgeous, man.
Gorgeous. Get into the plays. I want to hear Mustache Colby pitch some shit because Mustache Colby is a winner.
I'm 3-1 with a mustache.
Say less.
So disregard my record prior, but I only have one play for you today, Pete. I'm on the Astros at -115.
Wow.
And I did want to talk just briefly before I get into that about this Rangers Pirates game. I woke last night before I went to bed. I texted you and I was like, "How is this line -130?"
Yeah,
it may have been -135. And then I woke up this morning and I go on BetMGM and it was at -120. And I was like, "What? What is that line movement? Like bizarre." I mean, I think it's back to -130, -135 now, but like that is some sketchy line move. That is a game I am staying far away from, but I'm going to enjoy watching it because there's so many people on either side. I lean Rangers because my betting brain, like, how do I fade the Rangers offense? And Dane Dunning's been solid. The Pirates offense is so bad. That seemed like a no-brainer, but weird, man. Absolutely weird.
But instead, you're going for another game that's basically a pick-em right now. So we still got the Astros at -115. They're still the favorites. Even though the Brewers have been a little bit of a trendy dog here on stream and across the country, a lot of different people are on a lot of different plays. But you're on the Astros. Tell us why.
I wish I didn't just look at VSiN like literally 3 seconds ago because there is a ton of money coming in on the Brewers on the other side, and this line is not budging, which doesn't make me feel that bad. I'm pretty confident about this Astros play. It's why it's the only play of the day for me. So yeah, let me break it down for you. I mean, you have Christian Javier versus Corbin Burns. This is a heavyweight matchup. And simply put, I trust Christian Javier more right now on the mound than Corbin Burns. And Christian Javier actually looks, really good lately. In his last 4 starts, a 3.28 ERA, a 3.17 FIP. And then as you covered in the model analysis, Pete, the wind is blowing way in. And for a fly ball pitcher like Javier, that's going to be a huge advantage. I really do like betting on fly ball pitchers when there's wind blowing in. I do it at Wrigley a consistent amount and does pay off pretty well. And then obviously we know who Corbin Burns is, right? He's really, really damn good. And I'm not coming on here to say otherwise. He has a 2.48 ERA in his last 5 starts, but a 3.58 FIP. And he just has not been as sharp. Like, the Corbin Burns we know is a guy that's striking out 35, 40% of batters. He's not doing that right now. He has a 24% strikeout rate in his last 5 starts, a 9% walk rate. So he's giving up free passes as well, which is something that is somewhat new for him. He has not given up a lot of free passes in recent years. So yes, is he still a very good pitcher? Absolutely. I just think he's not perfect. Like, I think this is the type of game where the Astros legitimately might win this game 2-1. I seriously believe that. And just to move on, let's dive into the offenses real quick. The Astros actually have been improving on offense. Last 14 days, they have a 740 OPS. They're finding the groove a little bit. And now they have Altuve back, which is huge.
Huge.
Right? Get some of those bums that have been filling in out of that lineup. I have not been betting on the Astros for a reason, but now
Mauricio Dubon is not a bum. Please show him a little bit of respect. It is good to have Altuve back, but respect Mauricio Dubon. Respect him.
I'll respect Dubon. He's been one of the better hitters last month. In May, I think he has a WRC plus of 110. But then you go for the Brewers offense, man. They've been pretty brutal this month. Jesse Winker has just 3 extra base hits all season. They have a 697 OPS the last 14 days. But when you go to by May, the only hitter that's been really, really damn good for them is Christian Yelich. He has a 150 WRC plus. He looks like he's heating back up again. He has a 57% hard hit rate. So basically the only hitter I'm like terrified of in this whole entire game is Christian Yelich, but Willie Adames has a 44 WRC plus in May. Tyrone Taylor has 16 WRC plus. Joey Weimer has a 26 WRC plus. Even William Contreras has been struggling with a 90 WRC plus in May. So like a lot of these hitters are really, really struggling in this Brewers lineup, and I'm kind of keying in on that as well. But the reason that I didn't take the first 5 in this game is this is really important to the bet. Like the bullpens in this game are going to be huge. And the Astros last night didn't have to use any bullpen arms because Framber Valdez did his magic and threw a complete game. So this Astros bullpen is one fully rested, but arguably might be the best bullpen in baseball, Pete. They have a 1.96 ERA in the last 14 days and a 3.01 ERA over the whole entire season. So regardless, last 14, the whole season, they've been nasty, locked down, and now they're all rested tonight. Christian Javier doesn't have to go deep into this game if he doesn't need to. Like he can go 5 innings and they can go right to the bullpen if they want to and lock down here. But the Brewers on the other side had to use their bullpen last night pretty heavily. Joel Payamps threw 17 pitches. Peter Strzelecki threw 24 pitches, and then Devin Williams threw 21. Those are the 3 best bullpen arms.
Yes, they are.
Beyond that, Pete, their bullpen is really bad. They have like Gus Varland and Hobie Milner and Trevor Meagle, like not guys you want in the game. So, it's one of those games where I legitimately think that the Astros can win 2-1, but also I think that the Astros can score runs later on in this game after Corbin Burnes is out of the game. So yeah, I really like the Astros here, and just following my analysis, I really like it.
Good pitch, my friend. 1 play, 1 winner. Bring the stash. We're going to get to Degen, but good stuff, my man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Best of luck.
Talk to you later. Best of luck to you. Do you like Javier today? Well, I'm sure Colby does. Mr. Degen.
Hello.
Mr. Degen. Look at this. Look how clean the picture is.
It's so much better. Can you hear me?
I can hear you amazingly.
Yeah, I don't have my mic plugged in, but it's just nice to be up here with a new fresh layout and not have to see everybody in the lobby. That was just added pressure of people watching you while you talk. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm all frazzled now. I forgot what my plays were, so I'm scrolling up in Discord. Okay, I see them. How's it going, Peter?
It's going well. I'm on the over. I am fading Chris Bassett today. 27 straight innings of scoreless baseball. Let's see him do it against the Rays.
I gotta tell you, I love it when you go contrarian and you do something nasty. When I first got introduced to you last year, I thought you were just strictly like bet whatever makes sense. And then I saw it become more and more of a thing. I don't know if you've always had that in you as a sports bettor. But when I see it happen, and especially when I'm on the same side, because again, I hate being on the opposite side of you. When I align with your play and it's a contrarian side, I absolutely love it. I was going to just do the Rays team total, but I do think the Jays score.
I do think so too. I took the over at 8 and it moved up to 9. So basically my betting style, so I'm a football and an MLB bettor. I don't bet on sports that I don't feel like I follow to the brim. I follow MLB I'm obsessed with baseball, as we all know. But in the NFL, is my second favorite sport. I played football growing up. I absolutely love the NFL, follow it like almost as much as baseball. So in the NFL, I'm much more similar to you, similar to Krabs, contrarian better, going against the public, because I feel like that formula wins in the NFL. In baseball, it's different because there's not that big of a handle. If you were to just fade the public, like you're not going to win. So I have to bet based on the numbers. And while it makes sense, but for the casual bettor making sense versus the way I look at baseball, like I'll find things that people don't know or don't understand, like different kind of stats that tell a different story. So then I trust my numbers much more in baseball than I do the NFL. And it's been profitable in baseball. But there are specific matchups where I'm like, he's been way too good. Like, for example, that's why I like the Phillies today with what Krabs was saying. Phillies have been the worst team in baseball in WRC Plus in May. That's the number, but what is actually probably going to happen? Phillies bats, they project better against lefties. So if I was just following Phillies are bad against lefties, let's fade that. That's the square-ish angle, if that makes sense. So that's how I bet baseball versus football.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense to me. So we can get right into that, I guess. I got my plays up here. I'm on the Cardinal. All right, let's start with the Phillies. I'm on the Phillies first 5 minus 1.5. Plus 105. So I align with you as well. And I don't really have much of an explanation. And data, I don't think it matters more than in baseball. You know what I mean? Stats, numbers, stuff like that. Like, so just to touch on what you were saying,
Yeah.
that is definitely what you want to use more so than just being a contrarian like I do or Krabs does, where you just read the market, say something's off. It works a little bit more in football.
Yes. Works
But
way
yeah.
better in football.
Yep. So yeah, give me the Phillies first 5. So you're saying that you and Krabs are on the Phillies today?
No, I'm not on the Phillies. I just heard Krabs pitch and I was like, that makes sense.
Well, do you think this number makes sense? Because I think I saw an opener of -170 up to 230.
I think it should be around the -190 range. I think it's gotten a little bit too high. Doesn't mean I'm on the Diamondbacks. Thing is, the Diamondbacks are a better team than the Phillies. Like, they just are. Like, they are a better team now. But the Phillies have Zach Wheeler on the mound. And Zach Wheeler, kind of similar to Castillo, no matter how bad he pitches, he's always going to get line respect. And he should, because when he's on, he's one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. So it's always like, are you going to get Zach Wheeler, who is a top 5, 8 pitcher in Major League Baseball? Or are you going to get a guy whose velo is slightly down? It's hard to sometimes bet on these guys because their lines are always so big, because you almost have to assume that they dominate because it's Zach Wheeler. He's amazing.
Right.
We saw him in the World Series. He's amazing. So do I like the Phillies to win? Yes. Is everyone else on the Phillies today? Also, yes.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I think Phil's made an interesting point about I think their bullpen's really taxed. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to go with the first 5. You know, Zach Wheeler, if this was his second start of the season, I would think I'm being too square. And like you said, the D-backs are a better team. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Phillies are still below 500. And I looked at what Zach Wheeler's done this year. It's not really that impressive. He's got 1 win, a couple of no decisions, and he just gave up 4 earned runs. Didn't even make it 5 innings through the Oakland Athletics, which I know I've heard Javon mention a lot, that he respects the A's bats. But that's why I just think that I see this. The opener is fine with me. Money's hitting the Phillies. I'm going to play it for a unit, and I'm just going to be backing Wheeler. I think we're due for a really good performance. Hopefully we get it, but also at the same time, even if we don't, I think I'm okay fading Tommy Henry as much as I liked Tommy Henry last year, because he made me a little bit of money. I took my Tommy Henry units and ran when I could, because then that
smart.
faded quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Phillies on the first 5. It's a pretty steep number too. Usually, with the first 5s, you get a little bit of an edge somewhere. -1.5. I mean, usually these favorites are -0.5, -1.5. Is anybody going to play that against the D-backs team at 7-3 in the last 10?
Probably not many.
Yeah, probably not many. So this to me is like a blend of being square, backing a guy like Zach Wheeler. But again, it feels a little contrarian at the same time, because the D-backs are so good and a better team. And Wheeler hasn't really had a dominant start, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. And then I'll take it to my next play. I like the Cardinals today. I'm going to play them on the first 5. And I'm going to fade this Brandon Williamson guy. And I remember when you were fading him, his rookie debut in Coors, and I was listening to you talk. I don't think I was on the stream that day, but I was listening, and I tweeted, and I couldn't go against you, but that was a play that was so obvious to me. I don't know if you played the over, or if you just faded him.
So I played the first 5 money line, and I came out with a push because Chase Anderson also threw 5 shutout. And I was so happy I played the first 5 because the Reds ended up winning that game in the end. Yep. So I came out with a push. I came out unscathed. But I was watching that game jaw on the floor, because like with prospects too, like we're super into prospects here at Just Baseball. So like we know all about these guys when they come up. And it's been a really profitable system. It's a square system, right? Yep. Fading a rookie making their debut on the road. It's like it's an easy system. But I started it 2 years ago, and it just kept hitting. Last year was one of my most profitable systems. And this year it's 4-1-1. The push, Brandon Williamson in Coors. It was just like, I just tipped my cap. Like, I was like, that was amazing what you did. I don't know how you did it, because our rankings, we dropped him because his stuff has fallen off a cliff. And his stuff didn't even look good, and he was just getting outs. And I was like, good for you. I tipped my cap. I was like, that's awesome. We want players to play well. He played well. Good for him.
So that was just something that it made so much sense to me. I could not get involved.
I get it.
I was a spectator. I saw what happened. My jaw was also on the floor because I certainly wasn't expecting that. And by no means.
All he needed to do was give up one run because I like Chase Anderson's matchup, and he threw 5 shutout. All he had to do was give up one.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Close. Like go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with a little zigzag theory here. So I think I'm gonna fade him after that incredible debut in Coors that nobody really expected. And now you know that people have to be pretty excited about this guy. And I think the Cardinals come in here and I think they rough him up. So I'm specifically fading him. I wouldn't even say that I'm really backing Jordan Montgomery. But give me the Cardinals. I know that they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're hot. So, I don't necessarily think that it's that contrarian of a play where, even though the Cardinals have been so bad this year, I'm not really sure where your average bettor stands with them. Like, have they gained enough respect by what they're doing and clawing back? I've seen some people in my stream mention that they're going to take a shot on them to win the division, etc. I don't hate it.
No, I hate it.
You hate it? Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Go.
You want to know the biggest trap line of the MLB season so far?
Yeah.
Cardinals opened up at -110 to win the Central.
Oh, really? That was really low, is what you're saying.
I mean, that's a pick 'em for the Cardinals to win the Central.
Who was the second favorite?
Brewers.
Oh, yeah. The fucking Brewers, man.
And I was like, I went on our podcast because we did our big preseason things. And I was like, guys, everyone's baseball brain. We're all aligned. Cardinals should win this division, right? They know something. Right. And look what's happened. And right now the Cardinals are plus 190 with all this steam, right? They're giving you a plus almost 200 number. No way I'm touching that.
They were plus 330.
I don't know who's going to win this division, though, because I think there's a chance the Brewers sell at the deadline. I'm not bought into the Cubs, and it's not going to be the Reds or the Pirates. So I'm like, are they just – they might cancel the division. They might say, you know what, this is over. We don't want any of you in the playoffs. I don't know.
Oh, I hope it's not the Brewers. I faded them on the season. I hope they come back down to earth.
It might just be the Cardinals, but there's no way, knowing that opener, I will ever have a cent on the Cardinals, whatever line they're at this whole season. Of course, game by game, that's fine. Just division odds.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not going to get involved there. I think you're right. That is pretty trappy. I hope the Brewers don't win the division. But I'm going to go with their bats to and fade this Williamson guy. Again, just expecting him to be in the home crowd, have some maybe a little bit of excitement, hype, expectations, and fall flat. Last one, give me the Dodgers on the first 5. I will take a really good team in a contrarian spot. And I was shocked to see the Braves this trendy at home, especially considering that I don't think people really like Charlie Morton. And last week I was on the Braves. I don't know if you and I were you commented on this play, but I took them -1.5 when they played the Rangers. And that was after they just got swept. I forget by who. And Morton was pitching. And it was the Rangers pitcher debut. And one of my contrarian friends was like, DJ, you're on the Braves -1.5 coming off of a sweep. That's got to be the most square play. But I think the exception is Charlie Morton. Nobody likes Charlie Morton.
Agreed.
So that always kind of offsets it. But I thought coming into this that more people are going to be on the Dodgers, and they're not. I guess it's because nobody likes this Gavin Stone guy. He's got a 9 ERA. So you got the Braves, you got Charlie Morton at home. I'm seeing 130 up to 150. I'm hearing that it's a terrible spot for the Dodgers. I think they haven't had a day off in like
it's the Dodgers.
Thank you. It's the Dodgers. So
you're going to get the Dodgers. I almost played the Dodgers today because, one, we love Gavin Stone at Just Baseball.
You do?
We love Gavin Stone. We had Walker Buehler. So we have Walker Buehler on every Monday on our Just Baseball show. And he said, and I quote, "I'm jealous of Gavin Stone's changeup." So the Dodgers have 2 guys, Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone, 2 tippity-top pitching prospects. Gavin Stone projects to be like a dog. Bobby Miller, he's throwing tomorrow. I'm fading him. Rookie on the road. Sorry, Bobby Miller. But gas, throws 100 miles an hour. Buehler's like, you talked about Bobby Miller too. He's like, I was more polished when I first came up, but he has better stuff. These 2 guys The Dodgers have one of the best farm systems in baseball. On top of being so good, Gavin Stone is near the top of the list. Bad start. You're buying low on him right now. He is a very, very good pitcher. My only issue is I've had to just kind of ban Charlie Morton. All peripherals say he should basically retire, like 5x ERA, all this kind of stuff. But all he keeps doing is spinning this curveball, and it just keeps working. But the Dodgers are pretty damn good. This is just going to be a sick game. This whole series is like a NLCS preview. I'm glad you're on the Dodgers. If I were to lean one way, it would be the Dodgers. I would not be taking the Braves here. But again, Charlie Morton is a guy who I got to see more. He's amazing right now. In August, that's when I'll probably start fading him because he's 39 years old. He's probably going to taper off a little bit. I want to see how that arm holds up all year. Right now in May, I actually don't mind the first 5 under personally, but I'm excited to see this game play out.
Well, I was going to say with the total going 9.5 to 9, I was expecting maybe this Gavin Stone guy pitches a little bit better. But I think
he's legit.
Just coming from a sports brain mentality, if you put yourself in the shoes of a team that just lost 3 or 4 against the Cardinals, you're coming in first game of the series against the Braves, and you have a rookie making his debut tomorrow. I think this is a team that's got some dog in them, like the Dodgers. Like, this is where you got to come out against a guy like Charlie Morton, and you got to attack and you got to get some runs. Give this Gavin Stone guy the lead. Whatever happens tomorrow, whatever. But I think they really want to take the first one of the series. So
amazing comment, and I forgot about this. I can't believe I forgot. Freddie Freeman's going
Revenge
back to Atlanta. That's going to be sick. No, but that's like, Lindor with Cleveland went yard yesterday. Cama's money was on it. Great play by him. Like, Freddie Freeman's going to Atlanta. I want to see that. This is going to be a sick game. That's all you got, right? Those are your plays?
That's it. And just a s'more. Do you think Goldie hitting a home run? I had Javon called it the most corp lay he's ever seen me have. Vladdy, Goldie, and Freeman to hit a home run tonight. That would
not hitting, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. I didn't end up placing it because Javon called me corp, and so now it'll probably hit. All right, man. I'll let you get to the next guy. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Before we get to Tomas, how do you say this name? Ty, Pacino, subscribed at tier 1. Ty Pacino. First of all, electric name, if I pronounce it correctly. Second of all, thank you very much. You are now entered in the competition. If I win, one of you subscribers is getting a freaking World Series tickets. If I finish second, $500 cash prize. And right now I'm in second to this man. Tomas Romo Cal Quantrill, the greatest pitcher to ever toe the mound. 3-unit bomb plus money. The man, the myth, the legend, Tomas Romo. How are you?
I'm doing good, Peter. And timeout. We didn't really get to talk about that max play that hit last week because we didn't have. It was it Thursday? I think it was, and then we didn't have a show on Friday.
No, it was No, it was. We didn't have a show Thursday. That was your Friday play, and then of course the weekend.
Yes.
So now we're talking about it. So,
yeah. So long story short, timeout. Cal Quantrill, come on, baby. That's my guy now.
He's the greatest pitcher who ever took them out.
He makes it happen, and I'm just gonna throw this out there because for once I'm gonna hype myself up a little bit here. 3-unit max play at plus money, and then you know what the best part is? The Guardians lost the game. It was always the first 5, Peter.
It was always the first 5, but don't get too cocky now because we got more plays, and you're on a side that everybody else on stream hates. Let's get into it. Rangers money line, right? I told everyone it's going to be opposite sides. Now you get to hear the pitch on the Rangers from the guy who is leading the competition. Tell us why the Rangers.
All right, here I go with the Rangers. Peter, you know that they were on my no bet list. I don't think I've talked about the Rangers in almost
weeks.
A month.
I don't think since April.
Like yeah.
I mean, it's May 22nd. I haven't heard the Rangers come out of that mouth in weeks.
Yeah, I know. And I woke up this morning and I looked at it and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? I'm giving him a chance at redemption with Dane Dunning. Because I believe it was the last 3 starts he's had, I've faded him in some capacity. Because I'm like, it's Dane Dunning. He's not good. Come on. I've seen this guy pitch over the last couple of years. Yeah. He played in the ALS with the Astros. But I don't know. This Texas team is hot right now. I know they played the Rockies at home, but they scored, I have it here. They scored 31 runs this past weekend. Adolis Garcia is tearing the cover off the ball right now.
Wait, before you continue, in our Just Baseball chat, kind of a cool comparison. He's kind of like Puig in his heyday with the Dodgers. That's what Adolis is kind of like. And I was like,
I like
the
that.
speed, the power combination, like the stocky build,
Mhm.
good defender, cannon for an arm. I was like, I see that. That's a cool comparison.
I like that one. I like that one, Peter. I'm gonna use that next time someone brings up Adolis Garcia to me.
It's a good
But
one.
when it comes to Dane Dunning, the guy's impressive. He's been impressive this year. 1.69 ERA. But I think the one thing that I like about him going into this Pirates matchup is the Pirates have struggled to hit the ball. I forgot what it was. I think it was Colby said something about it, and our Just Baseball chat just saying that their OPS in the last 2 weeks is like under 500. They're not.
They rank in May. They rank dead last against righties in WRC plus. Dead last.
Well, there you go. And I knew that going into this, but I also sat there and looked at Dunning. He's got 6 pitches to his arsenal, and 4 of them opponents are batting under 200. I know it's a little bit different of a sample size considering this is going to be his 4th start of the season, but his .225 wobble ranks in the top 4% of the league. And this is a Pirates team, like I said, they're struggling offensively. And when it comes to Luis Ortiz on the other side, he lost his first 2 starts, and one was against the Rockies and the other was against the Tigers. Those 2 teams don't impress me. If you're not able to compete or even, maybe beat those teams, I don't like it. And like I said, the Rangers scored 31 runs this past season. They're batting .272 as a team. They also fare well on the road, 13-9 road record. Not bad. Also, 2 non-divisional road favorites as well as interleague favorites. I mean, it's a system I've played consistently, and seeing that line go from -110 to -140, it was tough for me not to pull the trigger on this. And I don't care if it's square. People could say, oh, the Tate Rangers are worried about them. No, I'm going to take the better team in this spot. The Rangers also, too, I saw this today, which made me feel a little bit better about it. But Nathaniel Lowe went on a podcast, and they're talking like, hey, Altuve's back. The Astros, they're heating up. How do you feel? And he goes, we know every game matters. The goal to this is it's on us. It's our division to lose. That's the way they see it. And I think they're going in this road series against the Pirates. They're hot. They got Dunning on the bump. They know what they're playing for. Give me the Rangers.
What am I going to say? You're in the lead now. What am I going to say?
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Get to play number 2.
Dodgers Braves. I know DeGen just came on here and said I'm back in the Dodgers, and I completely agree with what you said as well. But Charlie Morton, you're right. In August, I'm gonna fade him. At end of July, August, I'm gonna fade him as well. But it seems like at least the past couple of seasons, and I remember going back when Morton was with the Astros, this middle part, that May, June, he kind of figures it out. It's been a real consistent thing with him. And Gavin Stone in this matchup, you're telling me you're making your 2nd career start on the road. You gave up 4 run-ins last time out against the Phillies, but now you got to face a Braves team. And I'm sorry, this Atlanta team, they play the Dodgers pretty damn good. They do. Every time I feel like this is the game, this is the series I'm going to watch. Even if I'm not
show up.
They show
up.
It's going to be a great series. I'm really excited to watch this. And when it comes to Charlie Morton, he's 2-1 with a 2.5 ERA at home. He's coming off his best start of the season, went 6 2/3, struck out 10 batters. Charlie Morton striking out 10 guys at almost 40 years old. It's impressive. It is. But the Dodgers, you mentioned it earlier, they haven't had an off day in I don't know how long. They've lost back-to-back games. They're playing their 5th straight road game. I just don't like this spot for them to rely on a rookie to go out there in Atlanta, because I promise you, I know it's a Monday, but that place is going to be packed. They know what happens when the Dodgers come to town. The Braves are still the team to be in the National League. They're better than the Dodgers. They are. Better batting average, better on-base percentage, better slugging, and better team ERA. The Dodgers bullpen didn't look good against the Cardinals this past weekend. I don't care if it's square. Give me the Braves, first 5 -1/2, and give me them on the money line as well. Let's go Atlanta.
I cannot wait to watch this game. The Pirates Rangers and Dodgers Braves are going to be must-watch games. Tomas, what can we say? You've been on fire, and you're on the opposite side of a couple other people on this show. It is going to be so much fun. Look at Tomas up there.
Man, Peter, I got 0.32 units on you.
I got to win him back today.
Yeah,
it would be kind of electric if we both went 2-0. I wonder if I can somehow overtake you with my prize picks entry, because you don't got an entry today. 0.4 units.
Yeah, I think if you hit the prize pick, you would overtake me there. Oh, I want to throw this out there because if it happens, I'm gonna be really upset if I didn't say it. I'm not gonna have it bet or anything, but I have the sneakiest feeling that Ronald Acuna is going to hit a leadoff home run today. And if he does, I just want to know. I want everyone to know here that I called it. And if he doesn't, I said nothing. So
I take all the praise if it hits. I take none of the blame if it doesn't.
No, not at all.
I love it, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks for coming on. Okay. So love Tomas. He's not taking any he's not taking a beating if the Ronald Acuna thing happens. If Chris Bassett shoves today, it's on me. Blame me. But if he gets crushed today, I want all the praise. I want only compliments. Let's move on to Javon. The Milkman. Rocking the Rays hat. Doing well.
Always. You know,
not always. You've been on your hat.
All right, yeah. Give me like an 80% clip.
No, but like it's a good thing because you keep revolving in these great hats. So the Rays hat hasn't come on, even though they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah, got to keep it humble, of course.
I like it.
Yeah,
you're a fan base that's used to winning.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, really?
Used to winning, but like at some point you always have like the thought in the back of your head that like it's never going to be enough. So like it feels weird a lot of the time.
I saw the squad ride as the over 9.
It is. I was shocked that won the poll.
Really?
We're going to get Pirates.
People don't want that game is so like.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's my first pick. So we can help.
Okay, let's talk. So we got Tomas on the Rangers, we got Krabs and Javon on the Pirates. We got mid-major on Pirates plus 1.5. This game's gonna be sick. Oh wait, producer Cone, we got Pirates money line is up there. Pitch it, let's hear it.
Yeah, we can hop right in. So I mean, the line speaks for itself. I guess Krabs has kind of told you like the contrarian side of it, which is very obvious that Dane Dunning, as well as he's pitched. So this looks like one of the easiest plays I've seen all MLB season. Taking the Rangers here with how hot their bats have been. I think it's 24 runs. I guess 31 in the entire Rocky series, 24 in those last 2 games. Now they're coming up against Luis Ortiz, who people box score watch and say he struggled. He really hasn't been as bad as the stats say, especially in that Rockies game where there are a lot of unearned runs.
One sec. Shout out, laying the juice, just raided. Lockmith, thank you for that raid. Continue, my friend.
Yeah, so I was saying Luis Ortiz is a guy who's not fantastic, but if you watch those 2 starts so far, he's had a lot of his defense has let him down. Call it what it is. Especially in the Rocky series, there are a lot of very tough plays. I know I saw Carlos Santana hit a runner on a guaranteed double play ball that led to 3 more runs in the inning. There was a lot of that in both those starts. So yes, I'm a little scared of the Rockies or the Rangers bats because they're always a threat to do anything. But the one thing I love to do with the Pirates. I love fading a pitcher against them who's been, doing very well in the season. It's happened with a lot of aces that has relied a lot on control, aka guys who don't walk a lot of people. Which, if you remember, what did I tell you about that Zach Gallen walk square on Friday? I think it was Friday. He was looking at me real funny. And
you
what
texted
happened?
me, Zach Gallen walks is looking at me real funny. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Fading it, taking it? What? I don't even know if you responded. And then I think you did. You were like, I'm taking the over. And what did he have? 3 walks? 4?
4. And he had 8 all season coming into that start. So the Pirates are a team who, even the middle of that lineup, especially when I talk about guys like Carlos Santana, Rodolfo Castro, Ji-Hwan Bae, they all walk a lot and they're a little more patient than a lot of people think. And a lot of people give them credit for, which is why they've done this to a couple of pitchers. And not to say Dane Dunning's an ace, but they've done it to aces. They've done it to, obviously, Zach Gallen this past week. Back towards the start of the season, they did it to Christian Javier, not necessarily forcing him to walk as much because I believe he walked 1, but they got him in so many deep counts, which is why they scored 4 or 5 runs, I believe, off of him. So they do this kind of repetitively. And Dane Dunning, a reason why he's been so effective this year, which, yes, a pitch-miss difference is definitely a piece of that, but with that difference, he's allowed to have more control and he's had better command of the zone. So I think the Pirates are going to take that to a T today. And their offense is going to score some runs. And I feel better about that with this total moving up to 9 too, because yes, Luis Ortiz is probably not going to go out there and give you a 6 shutout, but I think Dane Dunning and whoever comes out of that Rangers bullpen probably pretty early or earlier than they want, they're going to struggle a little bit. So I think the Pirates score some runs. So, I had to take it with the line, but there is a little baseball reasoning to it too.
No, there is. Any reason why not Pirates team total? Like, just curious about the way you looked at this game and you were like, I want the plus 110. Because I assume you think like the Rangers are not going to get shut out by Luis Ortiz. I mean, they might. You never know. But was there like a reason you went Pirates money line over team total? Just curious of the way you capped this game.
Yeah, nothing specific. Yes, I do like the Rangers bats more than anything. But when I look at the game, like the money line is what stands out. So I didn't feel like deviating from that. But yeah, a lot of matchups that I love with their bats. Like if Andrew McCutcheon had a hits, runs, and RBI square, that would have been in my entry, and it probably would have been a 2-unit play on that Prize Picks entry. But he only has a run prop up, so I mean, I'm taking it, but would have loved if there was more involved. So, sources are saying Kutch leadoff home run is minus 600 on my book.
And I never doubt the minus 600 plays. Still, that was the most goated shit ever. Who was it? Was it Bethencourt?
Yeah.
Oh my! And I was like, that was one of the great calls in the history of baseball, I think. Like, it was like Vin Scully, I can't believe what I just saw. Then Javon saying Bethencourt's minus 600. Incredible call. And you're on the Pirates, so I don't know what to do. I mean, like, you're really smart. Krabs knows what he's talking about. Pirates. Tomas doesn't stop winning.
Yeah.
These other Rangers. And it's like, I don't know what to do.
It's a scary one. It's a scary one for sure.
It's a scary one. It's going to be
not scared of any dicey games.
That's why I love baseball, and I love the show, is that Rangers Pirates on a Monday at 6:40 is must watch.
Of course. Yeah. But I mean, it's a sketchy game, which I guess we can go straight into my next one here. It's also a pretty sketchy game hanging around a pick 'em now, but probably a little more fun to watch for the baseball heads.
I'm on this too. We love to see it.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one because I texted you about it after I saw you on. I was like, I was looking at how exactly to attack this too, because I do like the matchups for both of these pitchers, especially. I mean, we've heard, or at least I have heard, I don't know if you were tuned in too much to the surgical stream, a lot of Sean Manaea fades, which people, somebody said Brebbia was great, which that threw me off for a loop, but then you followed it with, Sean Manaea is going to get destroyed today.
What was that play by chance? Was it Twins money line or something?
Twins minus 1.5. And
we'll see.
So I mean, the Twins for me in this spot just haven't been good enough against left-handed pitching. You talked about the travel. You harped on that a lot, which is a great point as well. And you see this total moving down with, I think Bailey Obear is going to keep getting away with it, at least for this start against the team who is.
I don't even think it's I think he's just good. I think he's good.
He's all right, just not.
I think he's just all right. I think he's legit like a good starting pitcher.
I think he's good. I think he's good. Not fantastic. I still think
not fantastic.
Overperforming a little bit, but not to the point where it's like got to auto fade this guy.
He's going
to have massive regression. Yeah, absolutely. And against this Giants lineup, who's not going to, I think they can string some hits together certainly, but they're not going to hit well with runners in scoring position. So I think that's going to be the type of game it is. So I don't like runs in this game, and I saw that you liked it. Your model loves it as well, so that's good. Love to be on that side. I think we just get a boring, slow game in this one.
I agree. I think it's like a 4-3 type game.
Yeah.
No way Twins cover the run line. I don't think.
I lean the Giants, and I think if they win this game, it's not going to be them winning at a shootout.
I agree. I think it's going to be a 1-run game on either side, low scoring. I said I would play it at 8.5 because that's what the line is right now. Would you play still at 8.5?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. My model has this game at 7, and I was like, that's really optimistic.
Really? The biggest
a ton of value.
Discrepancy on the board or
huge. 7. I was like, whoa, relax. I have the game capped at 8. So that's what's like, if it steamed all the way down to 8, I'd be like, all right, take a step back.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's at 7, it's at 7. So I love it. And I'm glad you're on it too.
Fair enough. And then, I got one more here, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Go with the Brewers. That game. Another.
Oh, we don't have a graphic, I guess, for that.
I believe put that in.
I think you did too. Yeah, you did. So it's tracked. We're good.
Okay.
Brewers.
Yeah, Brewers. Another sketchy game that's hovering around a pick 'em. So I heard Colby talking about the Astros, and I don't necessarily disagree, but he was talking about a lot of the hitters in that lineup not named Yelich being kind of bad. So looking through some of the stats this month, WRC plus against right-handed pitching, you got Yelich sitting there at 204. You actually have Owen Miller, who's thought of to be the kind of the lefty guy sitting at 205, but he's really not. He's been really effective.
We were texting about it like Owen Miller, good shit on defense, you piece of shit.
Yeah, Owen Miller, he's been a crucial part of that lineup, more so when they've been playing lefties because they've been leading him off. But he's been a decent hitter in that lineup. He's sitting there at 205. You got Bryce Terang, who he's up for props today as well, sitting at 111, just above average. Same with Rowdy Tellez, who's been kind of creeping up at 121. So I mean, the hitters in that lineup haven't been that bad. It's been a lot of affected by really bad matchups against left.
And this is their better split.
Yeah, by
Objectively.
far the better split. And again, like I said, there's a lot of Shane McClanahan type matchups that have really hurt their offense because they are just pitiful against left-handed pitching,
Yeah, they're
especially
going to get crushed.
any good one. So I'm a little higher on these bats than maybe he is in this situation, especially with Javier in this matchup, because I look at Javier and a lot of the reason he's been very successful in these last handful of starts or in the matchups where he's been successful just in general, he's been working that fastball up in the zone. And, you talk about a lot of those hitters being, not as poor as some might say. They've been really good at fastballs, hitting fastballs up in the zone, not just Yelich, who's been fantastic at them, but even the hitters that have been more so struggling, if you were to say that. Jesse Winker has actually had fantastic at-bats, shooting even balls the opposite way against fastball in the zone. Rowdy Tellez, who's typically a low ball hitter, been much better against them lately. Owen Miller's really just been hitting anything on any side of the plate, high, low, out, or in. So I feel confident about their approach against Javier today. And then on the other side too, I know Corbin Burns this season has been pretty high variance, and it's just really sketchy thing to do when you talk about how he struggled walk-wise against some of this Astros lineup. But I think he's going to be really successful today. And you talk about what he's going to throw, obviously the cutter. Majority of the Astros can't hit that. Even the guys like Jordan and Kyle Tucker, if you look at some of their numbers and even some of their expected numbers, it's not as high as you might think. So without Altuve, which really sets the tone at the top of that lineup, even with him just coming back now, I love Mauricio Dubon. No disrespect to him, but it's a much different look at that lineup.
Facts.
Especially when you're talking about the cutter. So I do like Corbin Burns to have a really good masterclass today. And I've been very picky about some of my Corbin Burns spots with him as a short favorite or underdog, whatever it may call it, because he's been very inconsistent. I think he has a really good start today. And I think the Brewers bats wake up at home here, even despite whatever the wind is, that weird situation there.
Weird, right? Well, because the roof is open, so wind's blowing in.
Yeah, I get that. It's just weird to envision it, even with the roof open being such a factor, which is crazy.
American Family Field, known as like basically a slightly larger version of Great American Ballpark.
Yeah.
To see like an under have that much value on the model, I didn't get it. I didn't end up playing it. Kind of scared me. But to Colby's point, like he was like, I could see this being a 2-1 Astros win. I could see this being a 2-1 Brewers win. Like, I think it's just going to be razor thin. I think it's a must-watch game. You have two of the better pitchers in all of Major League Baseball going head-to-head with I know the Astros are on a travel. The Brewers, have they been staying at home, or are they also
They
traveling?
just came from Tampa.
Came from – oh, yeah, duh, they did.
Yeah.
Interesting. But you got a Prize Picks entry. Let's talk.
Yeah, I do. Definitely glad you're riding with Nolan, who's
had to.
I don't want to say super corp at this point, but a little corporate. But it's always tough trying to choose one of the Cards bats when they're facing a lefty in a really good spot. But I just felt like I had to do it here. Williamson, same thing as DeGen. It was in a spot in Coors where a lot of people were fading him, yourself included. And I even thought about it briefly. You came out with a push, thankfully. Not everybody else did. Yeah. So I think this is really the bounce back start where he gets crushed. And from Nolan's perspective, talk about, what he's going to throw, similar to Corbin Burns, except much worse at it. He's going to pound you in, especially righties with the cutter. And there's nobody I would trust more in the MLB as a right-handed pitcher getting cutters from a lefty who's going to pound you in to pull their hands in on it more than Nolan Arenado. So, it helps, obviously, that he is swinging a very hot bat. And the last thing I want to do is back a guy who's on one of the hottest streaks of the season that we've seen from any player, especially bouncing back from what we saw early in the season from where he looked lost. But in this situation, I just can't not do it. He's hitting 368 against left-handed pitching with a WRC plus of 278 this month, which is a massive step up from what Williamson saw from any of the hitters in the Rockies, even if you kind of sauce it out for Coors, the Coors effect or whatever it may be. So I think it's going to be a masterclass from a lot of this Cardinals lineup, and I just had to land on Nolan Arenado. Simply just the best matchup there.
I couldn't agree more. This is why these guys make the Hall of Fame. Matchups like these, like they go off. And what are you going to do? Why didn't you take Chris Bassett over 2.5 earned runs? You scared?
I didn't take that probably just for your sake, because that category is so tough to figure out. And even if I've had a lot of times where I've looked at it and I've been like, yeah, this guy's really weird that he's up for this, I'm going to take it. And he has a terrible game, but he'll give up 5 and 2 earned or something like that. Or he'll pitch, I back a guy to pitch really well. Like if I were to take Luis Ortiz under 2.5 and he pitches shutout for 5 innings and gives up a 3-run tank. That seems to be how a lot of that category has been going.
Yeah,
So
I can totally see that.
I don't want to say avoid it altogether, but try not to get too heavily involved.
And Trey Turner.
Yeah, Trey Turner. This is a little more of a field play, but at the same time, it's I expect a big bounce back from this lineup. I know a lot of people have talked about the Phillies today, but Trey Turner, it's the one worry about this matchup here is you've seen he's the worst fastball hitter in the MLB so far this season.
Crazy.
The one caveat of that is he doesn't see 89 mile per hour from the left side very often, which is what you're going to get from Tommy Henry. So I do think he bounces back. First thing that kind of stood out to me about Trey Turner was I was looking through the odds for this game because I wanted to pick out hitters because I thought the Phillies would have a pretty good day. Total bases seemed a little weird. Home run seems a little short. I'm digging that. Run seemed ridiculously juicy, even for the situation they're in. But I do look at the matchup. Yes, terrible fastball hitter, but should be fine against much lower velocity, which has kind of been the story, not just this season, but in prior seasons. But you look at some of his numbers too, specifically against lefties, not terrible expected numbers, a massive step up from what you see against right-handed pitching. And then behind him, because I do have a run prop in here. I also would take the fantasy score, which I asked to get put back up because the run prop got taken down. Which is, I don't know if that's good or not or whatever, but
it's usually a good thing.
Yeah, I think he goes yard. So,
but then again, I had Byron Buxton under fantasy, got taken off, and the dude had a double in the bottom of the ninth. Like, thanks a lot, Buxton.
Yeah.
So you never know. But I would say it's a good sign more than it is a bad sign. But again, you can never guarantee anything.
Yeah, 100%. I think he goes yard, so I'm not discriminating in props, but talk about it as a run prop. So hitting behind him, Castellanos in the 2-hole, which they've been doing more against lefties, and he's been crushing them. So Smart. I love that. Bryce Harper is hitting 3 and Schwarber 5, which Tommy Henry is sneakily a reverse split guy. So if there's any lefty I want to kind of mash baseballs or, God forbid, hit a tank with Trey Turner on base, it's probably those two. And then the super corporate guy who's hitting in, I think Real Muto's hitting 4th. God forbid if it gets to Alec Boehm, I believe in the 6-hole. I don't think we'll need that, but he's really good matchups from those two guys as well. I just think down the line, if Trey Turner gets on base, he's scoring. 100%, I trust all those guys hitting behind him, and I trust him to do it himself. And then tank. God forbid he does a leadoff too.
Good stuff, my man. Appreciate you. We're going to get on Nick from Capwise now, but again, great stuff. Great pitch. Appreciate you. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Producer Cohen is the we got Nick on here. I think our camera's running out of battery. I think we're good. I don't know why it's doing that either. Before Nick, you come on, and actually, I'm sure you can help answer this question too. We have a question in chat. Also, can you hear me, Nick, by the way? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go. So, hey, Peter, used to seeing all your Not Gambling Advice TikTok videos, but just started betting MLB this season. I've been trying to figure out how to read advanced analytics and especially bankroll management. Mainly a soccer guy, but I enjoy baseball and want to find a strategy that works for me. It's hard to find confidence in picks in a sport that I don't really have the excelled understanding of, especially seeing different reads online. Any advice do you have? So I always say the best start to betting on MLB is I want you to use 2 different websites, Baseball Savant, and don't look at the ERA of the pitcher because that's their earned runs allowed. I would say if you are going to use something to evaluate a pitcher, it's not the end-all be-all, but expected ERA, right? Because it factors in how hard opponents are hitting off you, right? Because if you're giving up, a lot of bloopers, soft contact, but they're landing, your ERA might be a little bit higher. But generally, you want to avoid pitchers who allow hard contact. So a line drive to left field, more often than not, is going to find a hole. So instead of looking at the ERA, look at the expected ERA. And then on Fangraphs, go to Splits Leaderboards. And on Splits Leaderboards, I want you to go to the Advanced tab, and you can toggle by date. Look at how each team performs by WRC+. WRC+ is park adjusted. 100 is league average. Everything above is above league average. So, for example, the Rays today, 133 WRC+ against righties this season, meaning they're 33% better than league average. Pirates, they've run a 70 WRC+ against righties in May. It's 30% below league average. Start there. You can send me a DM, and I'll help answer any more questions. But those are good starters. You want to be ahead of the public who's just using ERA and road records, all that kind of stuff. And there's plenty of systems. But if you want to just tell me, it's not gambling advice, but I think it will work. Nick, let's get to your place. All right. Or do you have any
No,
advice on that?
I was kind of laughing because I actually literally have Fangraphs splits leaderboards split by handedness with WRC Plus up like on my other monitor over here.
There we go. Because you know
So-
what you're talking about. Let's talk.
Yeah. So where are we starting? We're starting with the. I guess we'll start with the Rangers Pirates game.
Start with Rangers Pirates.
Heard a lot about that, and I'm on Texas here. I like the Rangers a lot. I get the argument, like, okay, the line is kind of short. Let's take the Pirates. I look at this and say, like, okay, I was expecting minus 165, minus 170 in this spot. So I see value on Texas. Dane Dunning, been good since moving into the rotation. Pirates, according to these wonderful Fangraphs splits leaderboards. Worst WRC plus in baseball in the month of May against right-handed pitching. And I'm maybe not quite as big of a Dane Dunning fan as Krabs is, but I'm a little bit of a Dane Dunning apologist. He's not great, but he's not terrible, right? And again, pitching well since moving back into the rotation. I think he's given up like 3 runs total in his 3 starts this year against a couple pretty good offenses, including Atlanta, Angels, Mariners. So I like his matchup against the Pirates and Ortiz. Like you guys were saying, Ortiz is a good young prospect. He's better than his face level numbers have been this year. But I think it just with the way that Dunning is pitching, the way that the Pirates are struggling against righties, and how hot the Rangers bats have been. I think they just passed the Rays for most runs in all of baseball this season. I just think minus 135 is pretty good value here.
It's so funny talking to different cappers and the way they look at games. Because, like, for example, Krabs, Javon, and mid-major Matt, they're on the Pirates today, or at least in some form.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying is, I agree. I think it should be minus 165. And it's so weird that I have to take the Pirates. The way you're capping it is, I think it should be minus 165. I'm then seeing value. So it's different ways of looking at it. I think Tomas is the same way. Tomas has been crazy hot. Those other guys are really good at betting on baseball too. And it's just interesting to hear how different people look at a line and say, all right, I actually see value, or that line is so weird that I'm going on the other side.
Yeah, and so just generally speaking, like a lot of my handicapping process is using my model. It spits out probabilities in the same way that your ballpark pal model does. Mm-hmm. And then based on the probabilities, you can go and say, like, okay, I think this is a number where I'd bet this team at. This is a number where I'd not bet the team at. So coming up with the probabilities first, then looking at the lines for value, as opposed to like looking at the lines first and then just, I guess, kind of not thinking about it probabilistically at all.
Yeah.
Just
and also
looking at it more from like a market analysis perspective.
One more thing for Megan J. Bush and anyone else who's listening, a good starting point, ballparkpal.com. That's the model that we go over. It's completely free. You're going to see it on justbaseball.com soon. So when it's on Just Baseball, we'll have, those charts and stuff. But for now, on ballparkpal.com, you can see what the model likes. So if you're just getting into baseball, just starting, it's not a bad idea just to blindly tail the model, tail the numbers, because that's what I use. Obviously, I have more stuff that I bring in and I don't blindly tail it, but it's a good starting point because all you're doing is following the numbers there, and they know what they're talking about. So ballparkpal.com and Capwise has its own model, and they're showing value on the Rangers. Yeah,
and it's also good. Like I say this as a big numbers guy, that there's a lot of things that numbers don't take into account and can't take into account. It's important to have an understanding of baseball and be able to say, like, okay, model says this, but there's a big red flag here. I don't see any red flags aside from the sketchiness of the line.
Yeah,
which I don't really consider a red flag.
I agree. I thought this game was so fascinating. I don't know what to bet, but I'm glad.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. It's going to be a fun game. That's why when something's so weird, I just like anyone else can do it. I'm just going to stay and watch it, and I love baseball, so I'll watch it.
If I saw any reason to bet the Pirates aside from the fact that they should be plus 140,
so
I'd stay away.
What else you got?
So I got one other one. This is one that I kind of doubt that you've heard anything related to this. I've got the first 5 over 4 in the game between the Oakland Athletics and the Seattle Mariners. So this is a couple different things. I mean, obviously the Mariners look like a great spot to score some runs today, right? Minus 315 or whatever against Mueller, who's given up 4+ runs in like 6 of his last 7 starts. So I think that there's a pretty decent potential for the Mariners to just get this by themselves. against Muller. Again, Muller's given up 4+ runs in 6 of his last 7 starts. I was thinking about like a -1.5 or -2.5 for Seattle. But my red flag was Luis Castillo. Hasn't been pitching great recently. Giving up a bunch of hits, walking some guys, giving up runs. Not quite pitching up to like classic Luis Castillo. It's been a lot worse over the last month or so. And Oakland's bats, they're not good, but they're not awful, right? They're I think in the month of May, 86 WRC plus against righties. So definitely below league average, but not like league worst level. So I think that there's a lot of potential again for the Mariners to just get this by themselves. I think if we get 1 out of Oakland, there's basically no way that we don't at least push. And if Oakland can get 2 against Castillo, which he's given up to basically everybody these days, I think we're looking great.
Good stuff. And also, first 5 overs for the A's on the road might be the best system in Major League Baseball right now. I mean, it's not a system, just it's more of a trend. I mean, it's just been printing.
That's interesting because I'm totally unaware of anything like that. I think a lot of things like that, I think is just like not nonsense, to put it bluntly. But because I mean, like if you take all 30 teams and you look at them at home and on the road, like just by purely random chance, right? A lot like there will be things that are.
I agree with you.
The edges.
I agree with you looking at most teams. Like I agree with you on that aspect. But it makes sense for the A's, right? Normally, they're going to go to a smaller ballpark. Normally, they're going to have a really, really bad pitcher. And the offense actually hasn't been that bad. The offense compares to the Padres this season. So, like, when you look at the team and you're like, well, is
that a compliment?
You take it however you want. If the A's have a really bad pitcher and the offense is showing up, that's why it makes sense that trend keeps on hitting. And you're on that side of the trend. So I agree. If it was some random team and it didn't really make sense, but like some trends are just trends. Some systems are just systems, and some trends make sense. Some systems make sense. This Oakland first 5 system going over this entire season so far makes sense. So you're on the right side of that trend.
Yeah.
That means anything to you.
I'll take it.
Good stuff, my man. Mustache has been delivered. Picks have been delivered.
No, we got the mustache and the mullet right now.
Couldn't get any better. Appreciate you, Nick, for coming on. All right. Good luck on your plays. All right.
Yep. You as well.
Good stuff, my man. I think that's the last person on stream. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Bassett, I'm coming for you today. Totals moved up to 9. Someone's hitting. And it's going to be against you, Chris Bassett. Appreciate you guys, of course, listening. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. If anyone is, again, you come in late and you're like, what are the plays? I don't know the plays. All tracked on the Pickett Sports app. Download it. It's a free app. Use code Peter when you sync your sports book. And that'll do it, all right? You guys. Thank you. Hopefully you learned something. And if you didn't, at least some of the plays are going to hit. Appreciate you guys listening, but we have to remember, it's not gambling advice. Peace out, everybody.